So they say you can't see the Labour here, but you got to vote Labour instead. You got to vote for Labour because Muslims have always been voting mostly for Labour. Because when the blacks came over and the Asians came over, they were getting chased by the NF. They were getting beaten and you know they weren't getting any jobs and they had the signs all over the place: no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. But the Labour was the party that was supporting the rights of the immigrants. The Labour Party was supporting that. So Muslims found Labour as their friend, as probably their only friend in this country. So Muslims have by and large supported the Labour Party. But we've been living under the Labour government now for over 10 years. It's not another party that has brought in all these laws against Muslims. The Labour Party's laws are far worse than probably what the BNP would want to do, because they want to have the support. The Labour Party have the support. And they have been bringing out laws and making comments against Muslims. And Muslims feel, even if I don't have to mention the laws, under pressure. They have brought out this new thing called preventing violent extremism. And this preventing violent extremism is basically spying on the Muslim community. They want schools that see Muslims that might have political Islamic views to be reported. They want councils who have these talks maybe like this. We used to have this talk in Harrow Road, similar talks. And after a couple of months they closed the talk down. We have to have it in the church. Because it was a council-run block and they had to close it down. And this spying going on. There's spying in the mosque. Almost every mosque has a spy. As I mentioned a few months ago, there was this brother I know, a couple of brothers actually, they can't find a job, but they get a job offer from the MI5. There's one brother, he was looking for a job and the MI5 offered him a job. To be what? To be a snitch, to be a spy. And there's a huge spying going on in the Muslim community. They put huge pressure on mosques. Mosques are under huge pressure to toe the line. They want to bring out this thing of contest too, where you not only can you support the Muslims who are fighting occupation in Iraq and Afghanistan, you have to condemn the killing of the British occupiers and the American occupiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. These are the laws that they want to propose. This preventing violent extremism is a huge spying mechanism on Muslims. All your internet, your email. I remember when I was in a Muslim country recently, and I went into the internet cafe, and when I've been there before, I can just go on, you pay the money, you say I want to take an internet cafe, I will sit down. This time I went in, he goes, where's your ID card? I said, I don't have an ID card. He goes, I'm not from this country. He goes, where's your passport? Just to sit on an internet cafe, they want the ID card. And I was thinking, wow man, what, you know what I mean? They want to know everything, every site, every letter you type when you go on the internet. I thought, wow, that's an extreme country, man. But then I thought about it, but hold on a second, Britain is no different. Because they want the internet service providers to store all your traffic and all your emails for a whole year. So just like that country I went to, Britain is doing the same. They're watching you. They're specifically watching Muslims. And more specifically, they're watching the Muslim youth. Because they have got reports and money getting pushed in to try and stop Muslim youth become politically, or you could say, Islamic politicists or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. To become more politically minded with Islam. Islam should only be about how to wash in between your toes, the Hajj that's coming up, what is the rights of the Hajj, and nothing more. The brother actually sent me a video last night I watched of this so-called Islamist. He's now saying Britain is more Islamic country than any other Muslim country. That Britain has got a lot of Sharia applied, in its rights and all this stuff. And I was shocked. I was completely shocked. Because I knew his brother, and I knew him from a long time ago. And I know his dad. But this is how they force you to sell out. And these are the heroes that they put, the Muslim heroes. Saida Wati that you saw there, talking about how her great-grandparents fought for Britain in the Second World War. And other people, Indians that fought for the Second World War. They didn't fight for Britain. Because they came to the Indians and said, if you fight for us in the Second World War, we will stop occupying India. We'll leave. So they weren't fighting for Britain, they were fighting for Britain to get out of India. Because that's the offer that they gave to the Indians. To fight for Britain, and then we'll give you independence. And that's exactly what happened, because after Britain won the Second World War, shortly after, India was given independence from Britain. If they weren't fighting for their lovely British occupiers, they were fighting for their British occupiers to get out. But these people like Saidawati, he was a shadow secretary or shadow minister for community relations of the Conservative Party, Muslims are scared that the Conservative Party get in. Forget about the BNP. Because if Labour is doing all these plans and spying on Muslims, what on earth are the Conservative Party going to do? So the Labour Party is what Muslims run to are worse than the BNP. Because the BNP will never come into power. Labour are in power, and Labour are the ones who are bringing out all these policies of spying on Muslims, or Muslims being scared. Muslims are literally scared to even come to talks like this. It's this fear that Muslims are being put under is by the Labour Party. And this is what it is. It's a big brother state. Because it's not only Muslims that are worried. The non-Muslim organisations are saying our civil liberties are being taken away from us day by day. The 28-day imprisonment without trial, without even knowing why you're there. The ID card, the storing of having a huge database storing people's information. This was, they eventually said they called it to pressure, saying you want to store information on all of us. 10% of the British population have their DNA information in the police. It is a big brother state. And the book 1984, which was written decades ago, was talking about this is what is going to happen. And this is what is happening. It's a CCTV camera everywhere. And the head of Liberty, Shami Chakrabarti, no relationship, I don't think, to the Indian film star actor, said that what is happening now with the preventing of the violent extremism is the biggest spying program in Britain in modern times. What they're doing with this preventing violent extremism, they're pushing through whole loads of trying to legislation to spy on and specifically talking about the Muslim community. Which then is the biggest spying program in Britain in modern times. This is the Labour Party who have been putting through these laws, not the BNP. So what is the Labour Party? Can anyone tell me what this represents? What's that?
A wolf in sheep's clothing.
Exactly, a wolf in sheep's clothing. That is the Labour Party. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. They want you to run from the BNP into the hands of the Labour Party. And that is far worse, because with the BNP, we always say with the racists, yeah? At least they call you a Paki to your face. You get these other ones that you want to go and apply the job for, they say, oh, you're not, unfortunately not suitable with the team that we have. They don't call you a Paki. They say you're not suitable, unfortunately, for the job that you've applied for. People much prefer the ones that say it openly than the ones that don't say it. And they can affect your life much more than the ones that are nice, the saints with a smile on their face. So this is the Labour Party. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's the Labour Party government that we're living under, and they are the ones that are putting through this huge pressure and spying program on the Muslim community. I want to show you a clip, and you might think it's a strange clip, from the children film called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You might think it's a strange clip. The reason I'm showing it is because in the film it's set in a place where children were not allowed. There were no kids allowed in this land that was ruled by this king. And so any kids that were found, they were imprisoned. And Chitty Chitty Bang Bang obviously came over. I know you've all seen the film. And the car crashed, had problems. They landed, there were 2 kids with them, and they came to this area, this locality, and they were hidden in the toy maker's house. So I'll play the film, inshallah.